Welcome back to Walsall Fan TV. The Joy and the Pain podcast is now live. Tonight, this is a bit of a strange one, really. We're talking about Leyton Orient. And we have some super knowledge. Here he is. We've got the man Tom Braham and Benji. Benji is clearly a Walsall fan. Tom, you got to tell us, how did Leyton Orient do it?
I'm the joy, I'm the pain. That's the representation we're bringing for you tonight, son. Thanks for having us on the show. Looking forward to this.
It's good. Now, cheers, boys. Cheers, boys. For those that don't know, Tom, Barbers Know Best is your YouTube channel. Just tell us a little quick minute about that one.
The idea is when you land in a new town, what's the best way to find out where the hot swinging spots are is to visit your local barbershop. They're font of all knowledge. Me and Benji have been travelling around. We go to a town, we hang out in a couple of barbershops and get their recommendations for the best bars, restaurants, cafes, and things to do in their town. It's YouTube/Barbers Know Best. I'm sure there's a link on there somewhere.
Barbers Know Best. I've got your logo on my thumbnail, so people will see that as well.
Oh, thank you so much. You're a ledge.
And I'll put a link in on the description as well for anybody who wants to check that out. Be good. Right then, so maybe we should. We are going to touch on Connor Wilkinson and Danny Johnson because we know they've got quite a history with Leyton Orient. But if I kick this off, Kenny Jackett was a very highly respected manager. Playoff winners with Millwall, Football League winners with Wolves, EFL trophy with Portsmouth. And then he went to Leyton Orient. Still went wrong, didn't it? They were 20th in the league. They sacked him. Then Richie Wellens worked miracles, didn't they?
Yeah, and to be fair to Kenny Jackett, up to Christmas, we were doing really well. We beat Swindon 4-1 just before Christmas. Then didn't play for a couple of months because of COVID, and then couldn't score a goal afterwards. We had the same problem this year under Richard. It must be a Christmas hangover, but he's been absolutely fantastic. And while we're talking about Orient connections, Dean Smith played centre half for us, assistant manager, club legend. Loved Dino. So it was great for us to see him doing so well with you. Shame you spoiled it by going to Brentford, but you know that's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Richie Wellens has just been amazing. He's taken us from flirting with relegation to champions in 18 months. Astonishing.
Yeah, well, Leyton Orient last season had been awful. They were down 20th in the table, and when they came to Walsall late on in the season, we thought, Leyton Orient are now good, but they're on a bit of a run. We'll batter them, and you absolutely tore us apart. Absolutely tore us apart. It was like embarrassing. So we guessed from that moment on that you're going to have a good season this season. But I think you couldn't have imagined that it was be so good.
Yeah, do you know, although you say that, the times we've had good years is consistency in holding on to the squad over the summer. Because, you know, it's like lower leagues, you lose there's a lot of churn in the summer. Because you don't have the churn, you've got that kind of base. And with Richie, it's just positivity. He's telling them they're great, they're going out, we're on the front foot, we're always trying to score. There's none of this. I don't mind, but we play nice football, triangles and that. I don't mind teams that play long ball, just be attacking. That's all you want as a fan. And he's positive, we're always going out to beat the other side, which I think's great. And I'm sure who's going to be your new manager then? I've heard there's
there's several people in the frame, but I just noticed sort of a prep for this meeting is Richie Wellens' approach and philosophy, and he talks about a long ball and defensive style of game is never going to get you anywhere, which was Mike Flynn. He was playing long ball football, and it was never really going to get us anywhere. Danny Johnson had got us on the edge of the playoffs. As soon as Danny Johnson went, it was curtains. Let's touch on those, shall we? Connor Wilkinson, if I tell you what I think of him, and then he did very well. So, no swearing, that's right. I had to think twice then. He did very well for Leyton Orient. First of all, when he came to Walsall, he was given the number 9 shirt. And then in his first interview, he said, I'm not a centre forward, which was a bit of a weird one. As a player, he's very talented, got great quality, and he scored some great goals. But he's not a worker. He's a bit of a shirker and drops down to the floor the slightest thing. And then coming back from injury, when somebody's got that history, they're not going to be sort of fighting for every single ball. But as I say, he's got a great finish to him, even though he always shoots near post every single time. I've understood it, and I notice it, and I can't understand that no goalkeeper has worked it out, because every time he shoots, it's near post, absolutely every single time. So
it was on this one when so I come in and see Tommy, he changed my name, and when we signed Conor Wilkinson, thank you, mate. I remember the first thing he said, he's gone for the money. The first thing he said, he's gone for the money, which is probably
go for the glory.
That's how we're going to feel if Manny Monford's gone to Wrexham, if Ruben's visibility.
If that's true, yeah,
that's true. But when I've seen him play, and I should say that I'm a season ticket holder, but I'm not able to go to every game to Liverpool, so I go to mainly away games. I've always liked him, but I can feel the frustration because he's clearly such a talented player. He's got a wonderful left foot, and he scored. Remember the goal he scored when we were watching the Newport game?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Newport, yeah. That's my permanently pinned tweet on my Twitter page, on my Twitter profile, because that was just pure quality. For me, he's reportedly on £3,500 a week.
Oh.
So that puts him at £1,000 a week ahead of any other player, and he just doesn't warrant that.
Yeah.
What was he like for Leyton Orient? Was he that? Have I described the same player, or was he different?
Yeah, and he would always play on the side, one of the sides of the 3 up front, and yeah, I liked him and would definitely have kept him. But then and it's nothing against Walsall, but we finished above you that year, and then you can only assume that he was offered a new contract and he went to Walsall for the money, which is fine.
Yeah.
No, I thought he was quality, but we've done all right without him. So again, there you go. It's just if you've got that budget, if that frees up that kind of money. Yeah. I'm not saying you should get rid of him, but if you did, then you could free up the money and get 2 players in, couldn't you? So,
well, I think that's what we should do. I think when Matty Taylor, the previous manager, bought him in, he bought him in to play in a 4-2-3-1 as the lead striker.
Right, which isn't really done.
And that's how he was described. But then on his first interview, he said, I'm not a centre forward.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They've bought a player to fit into a system, and he said on his first interview, like, what kind of conversation did they have before he signed? This is where I'm going to play, yeah? And he's got, no, that's not the position I play. You look at him, you think he's a target man. He's a target man, number 9, perfect. But he's not. He's nowhere near a target man.
Yeah, because he's big. But, normally it's the players on the wide edges of the 3. Everyone plays 3s now, don't they, up front?
One often, yeah.
Inside, they all want to be centre forwards. Perhaps Conor Wilkinson's a bit. Perhaps there's too much running about. No, actually, he'd be more running on the side. I think if he's shirking it.
I think he doesn't like the. Even though he's a great big size and that sort of stuff, I don't think he wants that physical battle. Which, as a number 9, you got the physical battle all the time, haven't you?
Yeah, and look, who does League 2? You're really going to get it, aren't you?
And he doesn't want that physical battle. And after an ACL injury, he's not going to be up for it anymore, is he?
He doesn't want to do that in training with your massive centre halves, does he? That's the thing. He's fine in match situation, but who are your centre halves? They're bloody giants. Sorry, ruddy giants.
Manny Month and Donovan Daniels are the main 2. Manny Month is a man mountain. Yeah. As Benji sort of alluded to, there's a
man mountain, Manny Month.
Yeah, man mountain, mountain, yeah. As Benji sort of alluded to, he sort of possibly is going to Wrexham.
Right.
Which, Yeah, he's not a player that many people go past. Generally, because he puts his arm out and just stops them. That's
But man or ball, one of them can go past, but never both. By the way, while we talk about Wrexham, can I just have a quick pop? Because all you hear was this fairy tale. It's great for the town, but the press was always a fairy tale. It's not they bought promotion. I'm glad Notts County won the playoffs because Wrexham they spent £5 million, was it? They bought. It's not a fairy tale. It's just finance, and that's. And we know in football how it's gone. It's literally the bit that was what was great for Orient this year. We weren't the biggest budget. I don't know. We're certainly in the top 10, but that's why everyone hates Salford, right? And everyone hates Wrexham. Let's put it out there.
Yeah.
And let's throw Wolves into that just because I want to ingratiate myself with your viewers. I said to Benji, I said, if you were playing and you got offered a professional contract, there was only one team came in for you, and it was Wolves. Would you sign it? And I got a volley of abuse. This was
it's never going to happen because it rules out the testimonial at Bescott, which is the whole reason that I've played for the Saddlers for 9 years.
Yeah,
and people say it's gold. It's a very dirty gold. This is orange. Wolves play in dirty gold.
Dirty gold.
And also, I'm not Portuguese, so I've never been signed Wolves this era of the club. But it's, as a dear friend of Tom's, I've kind of had a big soft spot for Orient, and we've been to Brisbane together. And
it used to be Barry Hearn. Is Barry Hearn still there, Tom?
Sorry, what was that, sir?
Is Barry Hearn still there?
No, we've got, and I don't know. There's an interim that we can't talk about where we had. I can't talk about the owner who took over from Barry Hearn without a volley of the worst swear words you've heard in your life. So our current owner is a main investor is a guy called Ken T. America. He's brilliant. He was when we went up at Gillingham. He was on the terrace. He was going mad. It was great, and it's also then run by Nigel Travis, who's CEO of Dunkin' Donuts, which I'm waiting for. Because it'd be nice to have Dunkin' Donuts advertising. Banks is a great advertiser. We like Banks is with a double S.
Yeah.
Very much like the Poundland vibe going on at Bescott. We're waiting for Dunkin' Donuts to do the O's. And they're actually great. They've done it sensibly. They've backed the club, but not gone crazy, having players on big wages. Although, I've just seen we've got our retained or release list happened today, and Craig Clay, who's a club legend, midfield, box-to-box player. I would be looking if I was Walsall at getting him. We've just released him.
Who's that again? What's his name?
Craig Clay. He's played 6 years with us, I think 200 odd games.
Yeah.
Really box-to-box midfielder, absolutely bosses it in League 2. Evidently, Richie's thought he's not quite going to make it League 1 or not going to play regularly. I would say that would be a very good investment. If you get rid of Wilkinson and get Clay, and that sort of thing.
Clay, we'll have a look at him. We'll put him on our list.
Yeah.
The other player we're going to talk about was Danny Johnson. So, Tom, what can you tell me about Danny Johnson?
Brilliant till Christmas, terrible afterwards. That was.
Oh, we did all right then.
Yeah, that's what I said to Beck because he was banging him in for early doors, and same with us. Good finisher. I never like to criticise players when they're playing for our team, but when he's for you, lazy, isn't he? He's a goal hanging. He's a finisher.
Yeah.
This day and age, you can't just do that. I don't think you've got to put it in the yard, especially in the lower league. So, where is he? Is he gone back to Mansfield?
He went back to Mansfield because he was contracted with them. Walsall had attempted to buy him, but they put the price up after he'd had a good first half of the year.
Right.
So that sort of took it out of Walsall's reach.
But
then he's been released. He's now been released.
Oh, right. What did you try and pay for him? How much?
Well, the rumour is they'd agreed 75,000 at the start of the season. He knocked 15 goals in, and they said they wanted 225.
Brilliant.
So hence why Walsall said, I don't think so.
Yeah. It's hard anyone pays fees anymore, and I just think that's outdated at our level because you just the contracts are so short. They're 2 2 years tops, really. If someone's lucky,
Yeah.
You'd be crazy to pay 200 grand for a player.
Yeah, I think, and as you say, if traditionally he's not particularly done well in the second half of a season, that would be another reason not to. And
I know that we had him signed until the end of January, and it was brilliant in the Stockport FA Cup game. He helped get us that Leicester 4th round game. But I don't think he ended up doing so well for Man. I know he didn't play him, but he didn't do so well. So Tom's theory stands tall.
Well, now, I think Mansfield hardly played him, Benji, in fairness.
That's what I mean. The statistically,
Mansfield didn't play him. He had a falling out with Nigel Clough. That's the rumour we hear. He had a falling out with Nigel Clough that came to blows. That's why he went out on loan. So when he came back, he was never going to be part of their team.
Why is it in football you can fall out with your boss and have a fight with them, where you can't do that in real life, can you? If you work in an office, you can't go, I'm not doing any more photocopying today, bang, and you can't get fired. Oh, sorry, someone else now. Hold on.
Oh dear, come on.
Yeah. All right. We're okay.
It's all good.
We're all right. It's all happening. It's all happening.
So we 3-2-1 and we're back in. Of course, I'll start again. What gets me more is managers. If you imagine in industry, if you perform so badly, you get the sack, and then they pay you off for 3 years. You can't imagine that, can you?
And you get these people who then bounce around the clubs and do okay, but it's hard for. I mean, this would be interesting. So, who are your new potential managers? I've heard that you might have a look at. Is it Kevin Phillips is going to be?
I think Kevin Phillips has been in the betting odds, but I think that's unlikely, to be honest. Graham Alexander, I think, is favourite now. He's the manager. I think will do a good job for us. The Cowley brothers was touted around, but I think they'd perhaps be a bit expensive because they've got quite a big entourage. Artell again is another one because he did some good stuff at Crewe.
We have a mutual friend who's a big Crewe fan. He loved Artell. He said he was a great gaffer for them. He said he came out with some of the most bizarre statements of any lower league manager. He said if you do get them, be prepared some quite bizarre post-match. So, and Graham's theory is that is why he hasn't got jobs since. Because on paper he did well. He didn't go down, he was struggling in League One, but they played fantastic football. I remember going to the Crewe game at Bescott and they were really very good.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. There's also Neil Collins has been touted as well. He's currently manager of Tampa Bay Rowdies. But if you'd got a cushy job in Florida, would you want to come back to Walsall?
Yeah.
Similar days of sunshine.
Yeah.
And when he first went there, because he went there as a player and then became manager. And one of his interviews, he talked about it was a nice place for his family to grow up and that sort of thing. So that doesn't sound like 2 years later that he's going to want to take them to Walsall.
No.
So as much as we love the Midlands, Florida does have some benefits, I think.
Yeah. However, you're in a much better position to see the faces by the Robin 2 in Bilston if you're a manager of Walsall. You'd have to fly in from Florida to see that. So that would be...
That's it.
I'd be tempted.
I think probably for the money he's on there, he'd probably be able to fly in to the Robin 2 or get a live stream from there or something. Right then, so how do you think Leyton Orient will do in League One? Because that's a whole new proposition. There's some big clubs there.
Yeah, difficult because our best players are out of contract. So if you look at the spot, I was thinking what Walsall need to look at. Why we've done well is that it's boring, but you don't concede, right? And we were a very attacking team, but our goalkeeper Lawrence Vigru 24 clean sheets this year. Outstanding keeper. Bosses are back four out of contract. Omar Beckles, our main man, centre half, out of contract. Paul Smith, our most exciting attacking player, out of contract. We're in a bit of trouble. Our best player last year was Idris El Mazouni, who's a Tunisian kid on loan from Ipswich, outstanding midfielder. If we can get him back, which we should, because they've gone to he won't play in the Championship for him regularly. But we need a bit of wheelie dealer in here. I would say, regardless of champions, you've got to aim for the playoffs. But I'd be very happy with top half. So
yeah, I think we've seen what happened with Forest Green. Obviously, they had a change of manager and that sort of thing. But after walking the division in League Two, they're coming straight back down again.
Yeah, although only just, didn't they? They didn't win the game after Christmas. They were so far ahead. And then I watched them a few times and I wasn't that impressed. The thing with League Two, it's margins, isn't it? There's every chance Walsall could be champions next year with a few tweaks and a good manager. It's any team can beat any team. We got turned over by Stockport. I mean, we'd won a league. Stockport looked brilliant, and then they lost to Salford the other day, who we turned over a month ago.
I think Stockport, Kyle Wotton is a big player for Stockport, and he's got injured, I think, so they're missing him in the playoffs.
Right.
So that's not helping them. But Stockport did look very, very good. I saw in 3 of the games. Well, I saw all 3 of the games we played against Stockport, and they looked much better than us in every single game.
Yeah,
we beat them in the cup. We got a draw in the league.
Yeah, when they came to us, so I was back home at Christmas, and I thought they're a different gravy to us. Like,
yeah,
we were trying to win the playoff mix at that point. I thought we're not as good as that team, unfortunately, right now. So
yeah. As it happens, when just before Danny Johnson went, we were 8th. And if Danny Johnson had stayed and carried on scoring, we would have probably been in the playoffs. So we weren't that far away. But I mean, as far as the manager's concerned, yes, losing Danny Johnson and Liam Bennett, who's did well at fullback, losing both of those was a loss. But only winning 1 in 20. Yeah.
Jesus Christ! It's like
how many managers are going to get through that?
Yeah, this is why I think me and Ben have bonded so well, because this is what we're used to, isn't it? This is an Orient Walsall thing. We know what I mean. If you support Chelsea, they go into meltdown because they lose 5 in a row. Yeah. And 1 in 20. Yeah, 1 in 20.
Well, the strange thing with Walsall, we went 13 without a win earlier in the season.
Right.
Then we had a good run, and as I say, we were up to 8th. And then 1 win in like 21, 22. It's a wonder we've stayed up, really.
We had, over Christmas this year, we were 7 games, I think, with 1 win, and we couldn't score a goal. And then we turned it around. League Two is so tight. It's really small margins. That's why I'm saying that if you've got a good... Do you know what? I think the Cowleys would be really good for you.
Yeah, that's who if I could choose anyone, Simon, they'd be my bag.
I watched them a bit when they were at Lincoln, and it's direct, but it was very attacking. And that's the thing, is that you put it on the opposition at our level, that's the whole thing. So how we won it, we had a brilliant goalkeeper and we kept it tight at the back, didn't concede. We were very positive. As Richie Wellings as a manager, very positive, never criticised players, always want to bring out the best. Even if we were crap, he would be talking about the good points. And then we've got players that ran at people. Paul Smith, Theo Archibald, George Moncur would run at
Monker's big player for you, isn't he?
Yeah, it was terrifying. You run straight at a defender, they're terrified.
Yeah.
If the Cowleys play that kind of way, they have a big proper number 9. Maybe they use Connor Wilkinson for that role. But who was that boy at Lincoln? Reed. It was massive, but it was good. And then it brings the wingers into play. I think that would... You've got to go attacking. Yeah, we're not talking... Long ball's got to sort of...
Well, I think that's how Stevenage got up, I think.
No, but Stevenage weren't necessarily positive and attacking. they were just physical and hitting off. They bullied, so they bullied us.
Yeah.
But they weren't especially attacking. But the Cowleys actually do that direct, but really attacking. I think that's you've just got to attack. Forget. Here we go. Forget defending. Just attack, but have a good goalkeeper.
That's the old Barry Fry philosophy. That is.
Tom Braham gets added to the betting now. Yeah.
I'd come in. Simon, let me tell you, I'd come in. I'd be a budget. I'd do a good job for you on a budget. How's that?
That's it. Just tell them just to don't bother about defending. Just go for it. And I think with Walsall, I think the problem is, the last few years we've just been playing so defensive, so negative all the time. And as a supporter, you want to see attacking football. You want to see a winger taking players on, and just hoofing the ball up to a centre forward. It's not great football. You don't mind hoofing it occasionally, but in the main route is that's not great football.
You start off, don't concede, good goalkeeper and hard tackling defenders. The attack is the two things get conflated where they're not. Long ball gets put with when you're talking about someone like Sam Allardyce, where they come in a desperate situation and they're 10 men behind the ball, big man up front.
That's right then.
The long ball doesn't have to be negative. For Sam Allardyce, it's everyone behind and it's a out ball to the centre forward. If you've got tight defence and you've got good, look at Wimbledon in the 80s. I know it's been written, like history's been changed, but they had two big centre forward. 4-4-2 is fine if you've got really attacking, good, tricky wingers like they did.
Yeah.
And Fashanu and Cook would get the ball and lay it off to Terry Gibson. Who's on the other side? They had really skillful attacking wingers. And that's exciting to watch because it's attacking. Long ball, when it's now, is just a way of we can't beat Man City, we're just going to defend, get everyone behind and hope to get a set play. In the other things, especially, you can defend like dogs and then get it forward quickly and it's exciting and you can get involved.
Yeah, the problem is with Walsall didn't break quickly either.
Right.
Because Walsall, for the majority of the season, defended very well. We had, I think, the third best defence in the league up until sort of late on, the last 10 games. But we just weren't breaking on it. Like, quick counter-attacks, again, as you say, are exciting to watch.
Yeah, and that's the way to play. The only frustration I had with Orient this year was that we played the nice triangles and but in games against Rochdale, our fullbacks were playing like wings. We were all over in the first half, and it was 2-0 up at half time, only 1-2-1. And some of the frustration was overplaying. Sometimes you just make that pass quicker, get it into the box, create chaos. You want corner chaos. I've got really good footballing theories. I need 10 minutes with Gareth Southgate and we win the World Cup. He's got no chance about it. Corner chaos is. So, for example, you would have the entire attacking team line up on the far touchline, and then on the signal from the corner taker, just sprint into the box. All you're trying to do is create chaos, and that's where you get a chance. How many corners do you watch where it doesn't even beat the first defender? It drives me mad.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. And the England tried the love train, wasn't it? That was the equivalent of your chaos, I think.
But this is all 10 out, all 9 outfield players apart from the corner taker lined right on the touchline, the far side, charge into the box on the signal. How do you mark that?
We tried, but what had happened with Walsall is that it'd go to the first man and he'd clear it up to their striker and they'd be on goal probably.
Yeah. But then by then you've got this great goalkeeper I've been talking about, and that you need. Who is your goalkeeper at the moment?
Owen Evans. He did all right, to be fair. 16, 17 clean sheets. He did well. Quite a young keeper.
Okay, he's fine. He'll take a one-on-one all day. He loves that. A proper goalkeeper will lap that up. That's what they want. Come on, give me your best forward.
Excellent stuff.
for next season then, regardless of manager? If I'm in charge, where do you think I'm going to finish in the league?
Where we finish? Well, for me, we need to be finishing top 7. We want to get some exciting playoff action.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's got to be playoffs. I'm in a WhatsApp group, I'm sure you are, Simon, and you sort of bounce around ideas. And I'm almost like the kind of weakest voice in there, because I don't get to see every game. I see most games, I watch back highlights with match reports, I'm watching Walsall Fan TV. And I've always said we have to aim to be champions. And then if we finish 7th, that's a great season. I think we are, we forget it wasn't that long ago that we were in the championship as this kind of these brilliant underdogs. And it's tough to compete with Wrexham and any club that puts in huge money. But Orient are a perfect example of get a positive manager, aim for the top, and you go up. Even
I think, as I've said, I think on the channel with some people we've been chatting to, when you're afraid of losing, that's when you get beat. And same with defenders. If you're scared of making a mistake, we all know what's going to happen. You've got to play positively, and you've got to go for it.
So
just before we finish, Tom, just tell us again the Barbers
Know best.
Barbers Know best.
We've done Galway and Aberdeen, and because I played bass in the Croatian Eurovision entry on Saturday night, it looks like Zagreb's going to be the next one. So keep watching. We're expanding slowly outwards from the United Kingdom and British Isles. And
that sounds like that's something really good to catch hold of. I've saw one episode. I'll have another one. I'll get another one in. But for now, that's been great having you guys on.
Cheers to you.
Oh, enjoy the pain. Enjoy the pain.
Where was my hand? There.
Good
the
one.
joy and the pain.
That's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.